he or she belongs and has to have thorough understanding and appreciation for the social values prevalent in the society. If we will follow some social values, practice are prevalent in the society. As a social workers, we have to follow the social values of the society. What are the social values are practicing by the people? We have to follow the social values of the society. The values of a profession are therefore basic fundamental beliefs and preferred behavior patterns to be upheld by the professionals while practicing. Here we will discuss the important social values of social work. First, I will start with service to humanity as a value of social work. Service to humanity is the base of social work, which is aimed at human welfare. Our ultimate or our base of social work is aimed at human welfare. Service to others is one of the core values of social work, from which all other values stem. Service to others is one of the core value. For example, as a social worker, we are doing either social casework practice. We are practicing casework method or group work method or community organization method. Our ultimate goal, our ultimate value is service to the others, either individuals or groups or communities, from which all other values stem. The remaining values based on the service to humanity as value of social work. The remaining human relationship as a value of social work by service to humanity. The remaining all values based on the value is service to humanity as a value of social work. This is the stem for the remaining values. In helping process, social work profession holds service to humanity as a primary value and objective. Being a practice profession, social workers acknowledge that serving others is more important than self-interest and place the needs of their clients ahead of their own personal interest. If you feel as a social worker, being a practice profession, social workers address that serving others is more important than self-interest. Your interest is not criteria. Your focus is only on important on serving others is more important than self-interest and place the needs of their clients ahead of their own personal interest. Humanity is not about maintaining gracious relationship between one another in the society, but is about building a bond amongst the members in the society with help of sustainable values. Just we are always we are speaking about humanity. What humanity? Humanity means just maintaining some relationship between one another in a society. No, but it is about building bond amongst the members in the society with help of sustainable values. Every society has the social and economic insecurities that accompany old age, unemployment, disability, desertion, or death of the family wage earner. If you take example, every society has the social and economic insecurities. It leads to unemployment, disability, death of family wage earner, head of the household, death of the household. Every society are facing these type of social and economic insecurities. Service is broad term. We are speaking Service to humanity. Service. What is service? Service is a broad term that refers to a variety of activities or services performed by different professionals. As a social workers, we performed different roles as a social worker. Social workers can also fall under this category in a broader sense, where human services as a field is defined as serving communities and populations in need. But the service in social work is different. Major services areas of social worker, major services provided by professional social workers are, for example, in the field of child and family services, social workers offer assistance to children as well as to their parents and guardians. As a social worker, offer provide assistance to children as well as to their parents and guardians. For example, social workers provide information about resources for children and families. For example, in Nigeria or Malawi, as a social worker, you are in the field of child and family welfare. You you provide information as a social worker about the resources for children and families and services, facilities provided by the local and state agencies and community organizations. You provide all the information to the child and their parents and guardians regarding what are the programs, what are the services, what are the facilities provided by the local and state agencies as well as community organizations in your country or in your locality. Services, school social work. Professional social workers engaged in school social work also. Here, the social worker role mediate between community resources and students who need special services. What are the community resources is there and students who need special services? For example, mentally handicapped and physically handicapped students, what they need, what type of special services they require, and what are the services available in the community resources. So here social worker mediate between resources and the requirements. The goal of school social workers is to improve, enhance the overall functioning and academic performance of students. The ultimate goal of school of social worker is to improve the overall functioning and academic performance of the students. School social workers work as a part of school teams in helping students to attain their academic potential who are in the weak in the name of resources, in the name of non-availability of services. School social workers work as a part of school teams in helping students to gain their academic potential. Geriatric social worker. Professional social worker provides services in geriatric as a geriatric social worker. Geriatric social workers provide services for elderly people. Geriatric social work means this social work on old age people, elderly people. Services for elderly or old age people and support them in various aspects. Old age people, health aspect, economic aspect, and their psychological, behavioral aspects. The social workers support them in various aspects. When you will learn geriatric social work, then you can gain knowledge about geriatric social work in detail. Here we are just discussing what is geriatric social worker role. Social workers who assist aged clients help them to live healthy and happily in the society. Mental health services. Mental health social workers work with clients who have mental condition and or addictions. Earlier we discussed last classes. Professional social worker or health social worker or psychiatric social worker provide some services who have who are the clients who have mental conditions or addictions. Social workers in mental health are involved in the planning and delivery of variety of services, such as building partnerships among professionals, caregivers, and families. Caregivers means who are the family members or um, who are the members assist to the clients. We are treated as a caregivers. Medical and public health services. Medical social workers help people who have serious or chronic health problems. They advise individuals and families about methods to deal with illness. In public health services, for example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many social workers coordinated mutual aid, community meals, and PPE drives. They provide all the above services. You know, many of you know, during the COVID pandemic, many social workers done this job, coordinated and provided services, community meals, PPA drives, all uh, in pandemic during pandemic. And community social workers who practice from a community development or community organizing perspective try to address the systematic issues that create social problems. Community social workers help communities functions in the best manner. Some work directly with individuals, conducting needs assessments and making referral or transfer to resources within the community. In community social workers, in community organization or community development perspective, so work directly with individuals, conducting needs assessment based on the individual needs, individual problems, conducting needs assessment and making referral or transfer to resources within the community. If we will identify a child labor issue in the community, we referral or transfer to the particular agency within the community. How to solve the client's problem? We refer migrant population and refugees. Recently, we have seen due to Syria and Ukraine war, and due to disaster earthquake in Turkey, people migrated. We have seen Syria and Ukraine war victims migrated from their own place to own country to the neighboring countries. Migrants often need help in adjusting to life in new situation. For example, Ukraine war victims reach the nearby countries. Here, as a social workers, help in adjusting to life in a new situation in the neighboring countries. Social workers help them find housing, jobs, and other resources. They cannot find a job easily. They cannot find housing in the new place. They cannot find jobs, and they cannot find other resources also. Why they are migrants from other country? They are the natives of the particular country. They are not natives. So here the social worker help them who are the migrant population or refugees. The homeless in various urban centers, night shelters, and refugee camps across the country require the intervention of service-minded and professional qualified social workers. For example, who are the people migrate from Ukraine or Syria to the neighboring countries? Here, in that particular situation, country required in the um, refugee camps across the country require the intervention of service minded and professional qualified social workers to deal with the problems. And one more, industrial setting services. In this setting, the services of a professional social worker who could be excessively engaged in helping the employees overcome their problems and enable them to continue to function as a usual productive human beings are shout in the industrial settings. For example, facilitation of welfare services by social worker. For example, in the industry, in the industrial setting, social worker work and provide facilitation of welfare services to the workers who are working in the particular industry in the name of equal pay for equal work. Social worker work on equal pay for equal work to man and woman, and working hours maintain 8 hours as per guidelines of International Labour Organization (ILO), and prevent gender discrimination, higher wages to the woman and lower wage, higher wages to men and lower wages to women. Here, social worker prevent these type of gender discrimination in industrial setting and ensuring the basic services at workplace, providing minimum services like water, shade, and other services in workplace, and means here industrial setting. So these are the services provided by social worker in these areas. So professional social workers provide multiple services in the areas of community development programs, rural and tribal development areas, issues and concerns of children, women, education, health and hygiene, self-help groups, resettlement of the displaced people, emergency services for those affected by natural and man-made calamities. We discussed
Nina mamiti ba?
Syria and
Ina
Ukraine
meeting ba zan
war
iya ba.
victims, care of the aged, old age people, rescue and rehabilitation of child laborers, care of the orphans and widows, and similar issues. The professional social workers provide multiple services in the different areas. All these supports provided by the social workers. We discussed all these services: school social work, child and family service, geriatric social work, mental health social work, mental health services, medical and public health services, community social workers, migrant population and refugee services, industrial setting. All these services support provided by the social workers are based on the value of service. Without the value, social worker are given. So the value of service is very important. Based on the value of service, all the services, all the supports provided by the social worker. Uh, Regarding this service to, if you have any doubts,
Hello, sir.
yes,
Sir, good morning.
yes. Good morning.
Sir, from the thoroughly of all those value of social worker. So, sir, is
Yes,
it what I am trying to say here is that is it the social worker should only help a clean when he need, or as a social worker you are free to go and maybe let's say an example in the industry. To
yes,
me, as a social worker, Should I go there and deal with the problem of workers that are working there, or I have to wait until they invite me?
If you worked as a industrial social work industry, then you can do all this. Uh, you can provide all these services. You can facilitate, not provide. Industry will provide services to the individuals. Here, social worker work just play as a facilitator. What are the services are required in industry? As a social worker, interact with the industry people, and then industry, and then provide or facilitate services to the workers. Yes.
Okay, okay, sir. Maybe on that mean thoroughly of all those value of social worker, they are concerned with the where social worker have job, maybe, if I am right, sir.
I am not getting your point, Mustafa. Please repeat.
So what I'm trying to say here is that thoroughly of all those values of social worker, it is where it is the places where every social worker maybe can get job there, if I understood.
Yes. Social worker work work under the base of value of service, humanity, service to humanity as a value of social work. So based on this service, the remaining values are also framed. This is a base, or this is an important value to work uh, as a social worker. Anas,
Sir, good morning, sir.
good morning.
Sir, I want you to come again on school social work.
Yes.
I'm not that I'm back. I want you to explain more again on this school social work.
If you are worked as a social worker, school social worker, if you find any problem in your school or in your locality, in your school, you find out the problem and how to resolve the problem. In the community, resources is there, and how to resolve the individual problem of the student. You work with the community, and you work with the school institution also. You are mediating between resources and who are the students suffering with the problem. What is his problem? For example, he is not the individual who are the students having sufficient amount to continue his education. So in this context, you as a social worker, you find the resources from any organization from the government organization or any other community social welfare organization, provide some financial assistance to the students. Then students will come to school regularly. You do this job as a school social worker. If any student suffering with psychological problem or behavioral problem, student is not coming to school regularly because of different reasons. His family problem or financial problem or any other reason. As a school social worker, you find out the problem. Why the student is not coming to school? First, they find out the problem, then solve the individual student's problem as a school social worker.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any more? Amal Buba?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good.
So I have some questions, sir.
Yes.
I have some questions, but I want you to clarify it to me, sir.
Yes, yes.
What are the service area of a social work, sir?
Here
Yes,
we
what
are
are the major service
no.
area of a social work? That is what I want to
Here
know, sir.
medical services, community services, women and child welfare services, mental health services, psychiatric services, community health services. Here, but today we are discussing the values of social work. All the services are providing based on the value of service. So that's why we are just overview on the services. Here just we're touching the service areas. In detail, in next semester, you can understand each and every area.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. So do you mean that the area that you are now mentioned it, so that are the value areas of a social work?
Yes.
The area that you are mentioned now, that they are the value areas of a social work.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, sir. Sir, I have
Hi.
one question.
Yes.
Sir, what are the difference between mental health services and the community and the geriatric social worker?
Mental health services who are the people suffering with some psychological or mental health problems. And a geriatric counseling, the geriatric social work, geriatric social worker worked with old age people, provide some assistance services to the old age people. That is called geriatric social work. Geriatric is only for in the area of old age people. We are providing services or we are working with old age. Old age, it is called geriatric social work.
Okay, thank you very much,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Then social justice as a value of social work. The concept of social justice is fundamental to the practice of social work. Social worker has always paid attention to social justice issues. It is one of the core values of professional social work. Social justice views that everyone deserves equal economic, political, and social rights and opportunities. What social justice means, everyone deserves, everyone is eligible, everyone deserves equal economic, political, social rights and opportunities. For example, some communities are some social and economically backward and they are not able to access the welfare services. In this context, for example, in Nigeria and Malawi, some communities are economically backward or socially backward. They are not able to access the welfare services provided by the state. In this context, They need some, therefore, they need preferential treatment. They need some special treatment is required for individual or community to ensure or to develop their development with respect to the other community. They are very poor, they are very social and economically backward compared with the other communities. In this context, there is some special treatment, preferential treatment is required for the individual and community to ensure their development with respect to the other community. If anyone will give any example regarding in your country, there is any special prevalent or any special provisions in Nigeria or Malawi in the name of social justice? Muhammad Ibrahim.
Hi,
Yes, yes,
hi, sir.
yes, yes,
Sir, in Nigeria country,
yes.
we have social justice, which concern with no anyone should be blocked from occupying any position or office regarding to his ethnicity, background, or race. Anyone should obtain equal political, social, and the economic justice equally.
Okay. Muhammad Ibrahim. Anyone? There is any special or
Okay, a good day,
preferential
sir.
treatment? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, please.
Good day,
Ibrahim.
everyone. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. With regard-
Mm.
am I audible, sir? Am I audible now? Okay.
Yes, yes.
As
Yes,
I
you are
was
audible.
saying,
Just you
with
should.
regard to justice, Nigeria, it's already there. We have a written policy and rules with regard to social justice, like what the mentioned recently, that according to social justice in Nigeria, according to social justice policy or laws in Nigeria, that everyone, regardless of your skill, your ethnicity, your background, wherever you come in Nigeria, you have equal access to facilities, in everywhere. Within you have every right to enjoy it, and you have the right, you have social justice right to test any political party, wherever you deem fit. If you meet criteria for testing, you have every right to test for that. And everybody in the country,
Muhammad
regardless
Ibrahim,
of
your voice is
position and his
some
background,
disturbance.
everybody is entitled to enjoy all the resources provided by the government.
Muhammad, your mic.
Everybody, this all
Ibrahim, your
policies are all written law. In practice,
Muhammad, your mic is not clear.
Sagir
sorry,
Vakil. Your voice is not audible. Some
And
disturbance.
the talk like is reading. I don't know. Are you reading?
my mic is
Can I say my opinion?
Yes, yes.
experiencing network issues.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
ma'am,
Okay.
you know,
Sagir,
you can go
Sagir.
on. Okay, sir. My
Yes.
understanding is in Nigeria there is a provision for this social justice. For example, everyone is allowed to, every child in Nigeria is allowed to access to education, and regardless of ethnicity, no matter whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, or other minority culture, so Nigeria you have to be enrolled into to have access to education, and the education is free. And to emphasize this social justice in Nigeria, a child is instructed to be taught in his immediate
Sagir, I am asking that there is any special provisions to the particular communities, particular groups, any special provision? Only
Yeah.
particular who are the communities under some social economic background. They are very weak compared with other communities, other groups.
Actually, there is some not something like that, but recently in Nigeria there is one social social intervention made by federal government. I think it is around 2010, made by former president, where he commissioned uh, a ministry for social people areas where natural resources are provided for Nigeria. So he made that provision of the middle belts, what they call Ministry for Middle. I forgot its name, but that ministry used to have the people from that area alone. And for the northeast of Nigeria, there is one recently. There is provision for that kind of ministry where some because people affected by Boko Haram, bandit, and other things like that. So there is provision for that, which provide them with all necessary things.
Okay,
To
okay, Sagir.
help them.
Okay, continue. Social workers in social workers aim to open the doors of access and opportunity for everyone, particularly those in greatest need. As a social workers, we provide give some opportunity for everyone, particularly who are the greatest need, who are the people in uh, very low social and economic background. We access and provide some opportunity to the um, people from low economic, social, political backgrounds. Social justice is one of the values of social work, which focuses on the relationship among human beings based on sharing various benefits equally or justifiably in given society. The value of social justice will enable the social workers to fight for the formulation of policies, programs, and activities. In the social worker to fight for the formulation of policies, programs, and activities. In the value based on the value of social justice. The value of social justice will guide the social workers for the anti-oppressive and anti-discriminative efforts and to fight against the discrimination based on the national origin, ethnicity, culture, appearance, language, sex, sexual orientation, ability, age, place of residence, religion, political affiliation, and social and economic differences. Why we need to learn the value of social justice is this value will guide us for the anti-oppressive and anti-discriminative efforts and to fight against the discriminations based on the region, religion, caste, creed, age, place of residence, political affiliation, based on social and economic differences. For example, in some services, special treatment is given to female to ensure their representation. Why? For example, few areas. For example, I'm saying either it is true or not. I don't know. In Nigeria or Malawi, the woman participation in uh, women's political participation rate is very low in Malawi and Nigeria. In this context, some special provisions or special treatment is given to the female in political reservations or some special political provisions to the women in Nigeria and Malawi. In India also there is some special treatment or special provisions given to the some groups ensure their representation in the society. Social workers need to empower the individuals, groups, families, and the larger communities in the fight for social justice. Social worker need to empower the individuals, groups, families, and communities. For example, with homeless clients, social workers make sure that clients have access to food, shelter, and health care. The same is true for children. Provide some services like food, shelter, and health care to the homeless clients, homeless people. The value of social justice urges every social worker to fight against social injustice prevailing in the society. If any group discriminating by the state or by the some other groups within the society, as a social worker, to fight against social injustice in the society. Social workers should know and understand how policy is developed at the local, state, and national levels. As a social worker, should know and understand how the state and how the local and national governments are planning to the policy, how they are developed the policies. As a social worker, we should know and understand how the policy is framing by the social policy makers. So social workers should be able to analyze why need to show, why need to see the framing of policy. As a social worker, we can find out the gap. Few communities or few groups participation is not there in the policy, the policy document framed by the policy makers. As a social worker, we suggest them the particular group, for example, women group, participation is required in women empowerment or women and child welfare policy. So the social worker should be able to analyze them and be able to access the impact that those policies have on the individuals, families, groups, and communities with whom they work in the context of social justice. Social workers, they know once, so should be able to analyze them and be able to assess the impact those policies have on the individuals and families, groups, and communities. Regarding social justice, any doubts?
So,
Sagir.
Okay, if I understand this, what you're
Yes.
saying, it's like the way some policies, social workers, the role of social worker, social justice, they instigate or they initiate some policies that will provide a kind of maybe help to society. For example, in Nigeria, to alleviate poverty, there is introduction of trader money. A trader money program is a program initiated by the current government, which go all look at currencies in the country to locate the small traders or the some people who are small and medium or small traders, and empower them with some money so that they will be the money, the amount will be donated to them, let them sustain their life and improve their business so as their well-being. Is this the concept you're talking about, please, sir?
Okay. Any more?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes.
What I'm going to ask
Anas.
is that, like here in Nigeria, at the south region of the country, there is oil company that explorate their water, like the oil companies' exploration. They destroy their water, food, and so on. You cannot even plant what to eat in the area because of the oil exploration. A time back, one of the human rights activists shouted to the government, raised hand, and at the end, the government kicked him out. And now, when we are in democracy, the government tried to establish or create a ministry for the south region, which is called Niger Delta Ministry. That ministry is used to work for the people of the south region. They build schools for them, provide food for them, shelter, and even water to drink. Can we call that a social justice?
No. That is a different concept. Like when the government or the state framed policies regarding the services to the individuals, groups, or community, as a social worker, we play our role. We give some suggestions, inputs to the policy makers based on the ground realities, based on our social workers' experiences. Which communities which community participation low compare with other groups or other community, we need some special provisions to the particular groups or communities. But you are telling some different context. You can use as a method social action. That is a different context. That is not a policy. Government initiative, some establishing some company regarding oil and other fuels. Yes, Ahmed Buba.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes,
Hello,
Mustafa.
sir. Sir, you made mention that as a social worker, based on social justice, you make sure that the policy must know the policy of the state and the local government. So, sir, in Nigeria, the local government were created in 1976 under the military government of the General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. Its aims is to bring the people closely to the government. So, sir, to me as a social worker, should I make sure and the ensure that I am following the policy of the budget on my community, the policy of the budget that receiving from the federal government. So should I make sure that the budget is coming to my community and to find out the impact of that budget in my people or in my people community?
Yes,
Thank you.
you can, yes, you can analysis of the budget. Based on the budget, based on the budget allocation, you can the analyze the particular group or community share in the budget allocation. If your community compare with your community profile is very low compared with other communities, your community is financially, economically, socially very poor compared with other communities, your community is allocation, funding allocation is more is required compared with other communities.
Sir,
Buba,
if
yes,
I understand this, what you are saying is, as a
yes.
social worker, you exercise based on the practice of the social justice. So you observe, you just be like an activist who sees problem in society and read the issue to call the attention of those who can help, and when they render the help appropriately, that the social worker work is well done. If I understand, this is exactly what you are saying by social justice.
Here I can,
Sagir, not at all,
Mustafa,
but
Mustafa.
like that.
Okay, Mustafa,
Sir,
give chance. Mustafa,
no,
give a chance to someone. Aliyu Sabo, please.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
My question is that how does a social justice play a role in politics?
Okay. For example, right now in our class, 31 learners is there, but you are from different communities or different regions or different places. Your community representation in your country, either Nigeria or Malawi, there is no participation in your parliament or your local uh, uh, administration. Your community needs some special provisions in political provisions is required in your particularly for your community. Otherwise, your community participation is zero in out of this 34 number. Sabo,
Yes, sir.
got my point?
Yes, sir.
For example, in India, there is some special constituencies to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The particular constituencies only the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes people can contest. The remaining, no one can contest the particular constituencies. The constituencies only for the special groups. Their number in the entire parliament, their number, their participation is there. If there is no such type of political reservations, there is no participation in Indian parliament. So that's why the government of India, who are the framers of Indian constitution, they provide some special provisions to the special some communities, some groups. Okay, Sabo.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Next, human relationship as a value and ethic in social work. Social work is a profession where professional social worker directly dealing with humans. Therefore, it is very important to understand human relationship as a value of social worker. For example, uh, compare with other professionals in the business or any other profession. There is no human relationship within the setting, within the profession. But in social work profession, where professional social worker like you and worker directly, professional social worker directly dealing with the humans. Humans here means individuals, groups, or communities. Therefore, it is very important to understand human relationship as a value of social worker. Social workers understand that relationship between and among people are an important vehicle for change. Social workers engage people as partners in the helping process. Social workers seek, seek to strengthen relationship among people in purposeful effort to promote, restore, maintain and enhance the well-being of individuals, families, social groups, organizations and communities. Earlier class, we discussed functions of social work. Social workers to strengthen relationship among people and then effort to promote, restore, maintain and enhance the services of individuals, groups and communities. So the holistic focus of social work is universal. What is our universal focus is enhancing the well-being of individuals or groups or communities. But the priorities of social work practice vary from country to country. From the priorities compared with African context, Indian context is different. From European context and Indian context is different. But holistic focus, social work is universal, that is well-being of individuals, groups or communities. So the priorities of social work practices vary from country to country and from time to time depending on the cultural, historical, legal and socio-economic conditions. An understanding of human relationships in the cultural context is essential. For example, there is a considerable difference in the way family as an institution operates in the Western context and in the Indian context. And the difference in the family as an institution operates in the Indian context and African context also. For example, here we need to discuss about the family institution context in America is different with India. Why? Up to the age, certain age in America, either family institution or state take care by the individuals. After certain age, either 18 or 19 age. After that, the individual, he or she himself run their life. But in the Indian context, family take care about the individual. There is no age. After 18, after 19, after 20, family take care about the individuals. There is no major and minor. There is no age difference. After marriage also, family stay together. Here, the Indian context is very clear. There is no state role in in the development of individuals. But in the context of Western, very specific in USA, state role is very important. Even I think there is a difference between Indian context and African context also. If you have any examples or doubts regarding this uh, cultural context in human relationships in Nigeria and Malawi, please share your experiences and doubts. Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sagir.
According to what I understand here, is that for a social worker to intervene into some issues, she has to know, she has to have knowledge of different cultures in order to make some balance. For example, to intervene into a family that is blend of Hausa and Yoruba, that social worker has to have a breadth knowledge of what is acceptable to Yoruba and what is acceptable to Hausa, and just say that, so that you make a smooth uh, intervention. That's exactly what I say.
Okay.
I'm right.
Yes, yes. Any more from Malawi, Uganda? So here, family cultural context is very different from country to country. So the use of relationship by the social worker for any intervention must be culturally informed. Social workers can only use human relationship as a vehicles of change by practicing good relationship. Social work deals with both internal aspects and external aspects. For example, in internal aspects, values, beliefs, emotions, and problem solving capacities, and external aspects like the neighborhood, schools, working conditions, social welfare systems, and political systems that affects us. These related to human conditions, either internal aspects or external aspects related to human conditions. By doing this, social work is able to provide uniquely surrounding service to people in needy by using human relations to help in problem solving and maintaining social cohesion or social development. And another value, dignity and worth of person as a social work value. I think you know dignity. Dignity, it's most generally is defined as self-worth or inner worth, typically characterized as a kind of worthiness of respect or honesty. To recognize someone's dignity is to recognize his or her worth as a human being, independent of his or her status or role in the society. Dignity, therefore, is not a possession. It is not a possession. The NASW, National Association of Social Work, derives an important ethical principle from this universal value and state that social workers respect the inherent dignity and worth of the person. Social workers treat each person in a caring and respectful fashion, mindful of individual differences and cultural and ethnic diversity. Social workers promote clients' social responsible self-determination. social workers seek to enhance client capacity. For example, direct practice with person in needy or justice seekers. It means that social workers need to have faith in the inherent worthiness and respect of all individuals, groups, and communities. For example, the social workers should not discriminate on the basis of caste, religion, differential abilities, sexual orientation, region, or on any other difference. We as a social worker maintain dignity and worth of the person. Practice of dignity with organizational staff or colleagues. If you are working as a social worker on any organization, you maintain some dignity with your colleagues or your staff in your organization. The responsibility of the social workers is not restricted to person in need. It also extends to the institutional practices with colleagues and staff. For example, the value of respect and dignity should be practiced within staff by not discriminating on the basis of gender status in the institution or organization. For example, you are working as a project manager in your country. Your role, your status is project manager. If you having the capacity, if you discriminate staff on the basis of your position, your status, you are as a project manager or program manager. No. As a social worker, maintain practice of dignity within the organization. Not discriminating on the basis of position. If you are program manager, don't discriminate on the basis of your position or status in the institution or organization. Practice of dignity by state and structural institutions. For example, the policy of reservation and schemes for persons with a disability and their enforcement mechanisms are important for practicing dignity by the state. Other examples of promotion of dignity by the state missionary may include proper rehabilitation of the displaced persons when acquiring land, because rehabilitation measures are not matters of charity but rights of people. For example, your house or your home dismantled by your state or by your government in the name of project. In your locality, government is wanted to establish one industry or any plant or any dam. Your area constructions all are demolished under this project. When the state displaced persons were when acquiring the land, because rehabilitation measures not matters of charity in this context. You are not a you are not in the position to ask as a charity. You can ask as your right. Why you are losing your construction, you're losing your home. So it is not a charity, but it is the right of the people. So here practice of dignity by state and structural institutions. Here governments maintain some dignity, practice of dignity by the state and structural institution, either governments or any other structural institutions like any independent organizations. They maintain some practice of dignity. Dignity and worth of the person can be ensured in the social work practice by focusing from deficits to strengths. There are various challenges to achieving dignity, such as communalism, casteism, patriarchy. They can only be addressed by social workers with requisite knowledge, skills, values, and attitudinal changes. We are seeing various challenges to achieving dignity. So they can only be addressed by social workers. If you are working as a social worker in organizations, you address it. You can address with requisite knowledge and skills, values, and attitudinal changes. Without competent, sufficient knowledge or skills, you cannot address all these issues. So the dignity and worth of the person as a value of social worker. As a social worker, we direct practice with person in need. If anyone come to you from help, you are the social worker. You don't show discrimination on the basis of gender, on the basis of creed, on the basis of religion, on the basis of region, on the basis of status. So as a social worker, practice with person in need. And practice of dignity with organizations, state and organizations. Practice of dignity by the state and society and large state and society. Then integrity as part of ethics for social work profession. Before this value, we'll just discuss regarding dignity and worth of the person as a value of social work. Hello.
So we can hear
Hi, Sam.
Yes.
We can hear you. But
You're
your
okay now, sir. You're okay.
audio is
You're okay.
hijacking.
Hello.
Right.
Yanas, please.
You're not audible, sir.
Yes. My voice is audible. Is my voice
Yes, sir.
audible?
Now, yeah.
Yes. Jimba.
Pardon, sir.
Yes. Please.
The network is very bad.
Any doubts? Any experiences regarding dignity and worth of individual? Yes. Jimba. Your voice is not audible. Zimba. Please.
Yes, just breaking. We can't hear you clear.
I was
Sir,
Hello.
sir,
Please.
sir, I have one question.
Yes, yes,
Hello,
yes. Please.
sir. I need more explanation about casteism and the just to casteism and the patriarchy. I think
Please hold.
Network is not on our side.
Today network is very bad. Not only today, since yesterday the network has been very, very bad. I don't know.
It's not on our side, network.
It's
Ah,
frustrating me since yesterday. The network has been frustrating me. I don't know what's wrong with the network.
but all went well because of because of weather.
Mahmoud, they said that in Nigeria they are going to cut off the network because of election. Maybe it is starting because of
Sorry,
that. I
second,
don't
come
know.
again. What do you say?
Eh? I'm saying
Come again. What do you say?
they are saying they are going to disconnect the network because of election in Nigeria. So
Okay.
so
Yeah,
many people are
Um,
if they
network
will
Nigeria
do
is
that,
there is bad because
they
they are
will do that.
letting
It will be fine.
yes,
If they will do
it's
that,
bad.
it's okay. But actually, it's not going to work.
It
maybe
was
because
down,
they are
down.
letting the network is bad, it's down. Hey, network don't want to you to learn.
The network has been bad since yesterday throughout.
We are
Sorry
good
for
right
that.
now.
Here, my network is good.
Yes. Hello. Anyone can respond. My voice is audible.
Your voice is too low, sir. Your voice is
Now
too
it's
low. We can't
okay.
hear you.
Now my voice is now it is okay. Hello.
No, it's not okay, sir. It's not okay. We can't hear you clearly. You are not loud. You are not audible enough.
Okay. I think now it is okay.
Sajira is there.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir. I can continue.
Okay. Another value, integrity as code of ethics for social work profession. In the context of the social work profession, the term integrity is referred to as moral integrity or honesty. What is meant by integrity? It is the term integrity is it is referred to as a moral integrity or honesty, by which one can understand that it is about reflection on oneself, in terms of one's own beliefs and value systems. If I can say integrity of you, anyone, it reflection on oneself terms on of one's own beliefs and value systems. Thus, professional integrity in social work is the degree of adherence and coherence to one's morals and human values to achieving the goals of social justice and human rights. There is one story in Panchatantra stories. Here I want to share with you one story. It is a one folk tales. A lion was in a big forest. A lion was very hungry and looking for food. The lion saw a cow grazing in the fields and attacked it. Just when the lion was about to kill the cow, then immediately cow appealed to the lion. Give one chance to see our calf for one last time. Baby, calf, cow's baby. So cow requested appeal to the lion. She wants to meet and once lost to her daughter. The lion escaped at the first but agreed to the cow's request on the condition that she would come back. Once the cow met her daughter and then cow will come back. Then lion agreed the words by cow. The cow goes to the calf and gives him advice and life lessons that he must follow for life and future life, how to maintain a good life and give some life lessons. She asked the calf to always move in head and never go too far from the it else it might put him in danger. After wishing the calf, after wishing the baby goodbye, the cow returned back to the lion place, then come back to the forest. The lion was moved by the cow's honesty and spares her life. When the cow come back to the forest and met the lion, the lion was moved by the cow's honesty, integrity, and then spares her life. Then lived to the cow. So here lion did not eat the cow. In stories like these, the cow is cited as an example of person of integrity. I think you, you are understand. When a person's word and deeds match, then such persons of consistency are valued in our culture. For example, what we are saying and what we are practicing is called integrity. For example, in our class, you are, I think most of you know each and each other. They know your integrity. Here we have seen the story lion and cow. What exactly cow said and exactly practiced. That is called integrity. Why integrity is required in social work? What we are saying and then exactly what we need to implement. It is required in social work. These values, behavior, and ethics interrelated. And integrity is a core social work value. It is considered an important universal value by social workers across the world. It is not particular to the particular context or particular country. It is considered an important universal value by social worker across the world. Upholding the values of integrity by the social workers implies that social workers need to be continually aware of the profession's mission, values, ethical principles, and ethical standards, and most importantly, their practice needs to be consistent with principles of social justice and human rights that are the guiding principles of social work practice world over. So in this value, social worker implies that need to be continually aware of the profession's mission, values, ethical principles. And their practice needs to be consistent with principles of social justice and human rights that are the guiding principle of social work practice world over. Another value, competence of as a value of social work. Competence refers to a potential ability or a capability to function in given situation. So before competency as a value of social work, we will discuss integrity as a code of ethics for social work profession. We discuss the story of lion and cow. What you are understand? Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Okay. Competence as a value of social work. Competence refers to a potential ability or capability to function in given situation. Here, competency means capability or ability to function in a given situation. Competency focus on one's actual performance in a situation. This means that competence is required before one can expect to achieve competency. As a social worker, before one can expect achieve the competency, you need competency. You required some competency. For example, special competencies persons in required to deal with excessive use of mobile by kids. You are not expert to deal with the kids or children who are using excessive use of mobiles. You are a general, you are professional social worker. You are not. You don't have competence to deal with the client who are the addicted by the mobiles. In this context, special competency person is required to deal with the individuals. So, to simplify, competence means having the knowledge, skills, and self awareness required to perform social work tasks in effective manner. What is competence? Means having the knowledge, skills, and self awareness required to perform the role, to perform social work task in effective manner. If you don't have competency or capability in the particular area, you cannot do the work. If you have competency, if you have capability, the particular area, then you can solve the problem. So there are different types of competencies: core competencies, technical competencies, behavioral competencies, and professional competencies. Core competencies are the skills, attributes, and behaviors which are considered important for all staff of the organization, regardless of their function or level. For example, we are a social worker working with an organization. The individual leading one project in the organization and is working the specific area, he can solve and he can monitor the issues and problems regarding the project, regarding the program. But the program manager need to know about the organization also, where he is working. He is working in the organization, but he is specifically work on the one project or program. If he doesn't know about the organization, how he will work with the organization? So core competencies means the skills, attributes, and behavior which are considered important for all staff of the organization, regardless of their function or level of the organization or individuals working in the organization. Technical competencies. Technical competencies are those which are related to the skills and knowledge that are essential in order for a person to do a particular job properly. For example, in technical competencies, those which are related to the skills and knowledge, their particular job, they are particularly working on the technical area. Behavioral competencies. Behavioral competencies are observable and measurable behaviors, knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics that contribute to individual success in the organizations. For example, teamwork, cooperation, and communication within the organization. We can observe the behavioral competencies within the organization of the people. In professional social work practice, behavioral competencies of individuals are very important for every agency. You are working with organization, but you need to maintain some behavioral competencies as an individual. It is very important for every agency. You are expert in your technology area. You are expert in your technology area or any other area. Your competence are expert, but you need to maintain some behavioral competencies of individuals are very important for every agency. Social work professional possessing values of cultural sensitivity, social justice, integrity, hard work, loyalty to profession, and patriotism are assets to aid agencies and NGOs. It means every professional social worker is expected to imbibe the cardinal values of social work to enhance behavioral competency. Social work professional having values of cultural sensitivity. What is cultural sensitivity? We need some idea about the cultures, and we maintain some, we respect the cultures. We are aware about the cultural practices, what to do and what not to do with the particular community and particular culture. And social work professional possessing values of social justice, integrity, hard work, loyalty to profession are assets to aid agencies and NGOs. All these are assets to aid agencies and NGOs. When the social work professionals having all these values, these are the assets of the agencies and NGOs. It means every professional social worker is expected to imbibe the cardinal values of social work to enhance behavioral competency. Means professional social worker is to imbibe the values of social work to enhance the behavioral competency. Management competencies. Management competencies are those specific attributes and capabilities that illustrate an individual's management capacity. How you are working within the organization in management competencies, we can find out the capabilities that illustrate an individual's management capacity. When it comes to the use of various methods of social work, such as group work, community organization, social welfare administration, resource mobilization, advocacy, networking, etc. As a social worker, how to play your role as a social worker with your capabilities in the case of group work, in community organization method, in social welfare administration method, in the context of resource mobilization, advocacy and networking, etc. Management competencies, management capabilities play a very important role in social work. If you don't have capacity or capability to manage the various methods of social work like group work, community organization, social welfare administration, or resource mobilization, funding, networking, your role is minimized. If you have capacity to deal these methods, you play a very important role in management competencies. If you don't have management competencies, your role is very low in your organization as a social worker. In short, management competency is one's ability to manage things in an appropriate way. Role, how you are doing as a social worker in organization, an appropriate way in the given time by optimally utilizing the existing resources. How you are utilizing the resources and how you are resolving the problems. So here, management competency is one's ability to manage things in an appropriate way in the given time by optimally utilizing the existing resources. What are the existing resources? For example, if you are the social worker working with the community, within the community, the same resources and existing some social problems is there. How you are management within the organization with your capability or competency within the time frame. Then organization give chance to the other social worker within the time frame, the same problem within the resources. We can assess your management competencies based on your performance, your capability. Competence as a value in social work practice means the integration of knowledge, values, and skills in the practice of profession. Exactly. Competency as a value in social work practice. Integration of knowledge, integration of values, integration of skills. What we learn in the classroom, what we have in the mind, just we practice of all these skills, values, knowledge in the practice of profession. Just put our skills, values, skills, knowledge in the ground level or in the practice of profession. That is called competence. Integrate. Coordination of knowledge, values, skills in the practice is called competencies. Competence. Value of competence demonstrates the integration and application of the competencies in the practice of social work with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. The value of competence demonstrates the integration and application of the competencies in the practice of social work with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. It shows the value of competence shows the integration and application of the competencies. Coordination and application, these two important. If you have knowledge, values, and skills, application of the all these competencies in the practice of social work with social case work, social group work, community organizations and communities. When you apply your knowledge, value, skills, all this integration and application, then you get value of competence. Yes, please. Any doubts regarding yes, Ibrahim. Mustafa.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Anas.
Sir, due to I'm not acting on this because that we are due to the election that is coming on Saturday here in Nigeria. The Ministry of Information, in collaboration with the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, has announced that
Madhuka.
are we going to attend a course after, or you have passed all what you have done? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Hello, sir.
Please. Yes,
Our
you are
network
audible. Yes.
is going. Yeah, our network is going to be blocked by Wednesday. It's announced by the Ministry of Communication and is informed by the Minister of Communication and Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria has announced that our network, I don't know, maybe it's internet network or all the mobile network is going to be closed till after election. And how are you going to continue on our lessons? Thank you, sir.
So you are not able to join when they stop the services?
Yes, sir. We are not going to be joining the lectures because the network is going to be blocked from
When
Wednesday,
it will start?
Thursday, Friday.
Friday.
The election is on Saturday, but they are going to block the network from
How many days?
Wednesday.
How many
I
days
think
they will
it's.
block?
I don't know. Maybe it will be even on Monday, but it will start
Friday.
on Wednesday.
Okay.
Thursday and Friday it will be blocked then. It is Thursday and Thursday and Friday. Yeah.
Sagir.
Only Thursday and Friday. Hello, sir. I'm audible. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It is
Sagir.
if this block, it will be blocked on Wednesday night. Then Thursday and Friday won't be able to join. That's what they are trying to explain.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. That's good.
Madhuka, do you have any doubts?
Yeah. Good
Competency?
afternoon, sir.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, on major services area of social work. You talked of geriatric social worker. Can you come again on that?
Yeah.
Can you come again
Yes.
on geriatric
Yes.
social worker?
Geriatric social work deals with
Yeah.
the old age people, old age, who are the old age people. So, geriatric social worker assist and help them in the provide different services, either social service or financial service. Social worker provide the different services from by the state or by the organizations. Yes, Madhuka.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buba.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
So, what are the difference between integrity and dignity? As you say, I see they are similar, but please clarify it to me what they are different, dignity and integrity.
Integrity, we discussed integrity and dignity. There is a dignity means a worthiness of someone's dignity is recognized worth as a human being. For example, you based on the caste, creed, religion, you respect only selected people. Based on the race, you, for example, you respect only whites, you are not respecting blacks. Where is the dignity? Is there dignity? So there is no dignity.
Yes, sir.
You respect all are equal. Means each and everyone having, so they, the dignity and worth. We respect all. Dignity and worth. Integrity is different. Integrity means we discuss here now. Here, integrity means moral honesty. For example, you are saying something about your project or your program or your country. I discussed with you one story, cow and lion story, integrity. What you are saying exactly, and the same you are following. Means integrity means honesty. As a social worker, what you are saying and what you are following. I discussed with you one story, lion and cow story. In that story, cow attacked by lion, then cow asked some time to go back to home, and then met his daughter, and then after that cow will come back. But lion first will not listen. Then after that lion convinced by lion convinced. Then after the discussion, cow back to home and met his daughter calf, then come back to the forest and met the lion. Then after that lion, what lion did, the lion was moved by the cow's honesty and spares her life. The lion not eat the cow. Why? What exactly cow said to the lion, then exactly follow what said in the word, then it follow. The same way in social work, when a person's words and deeds match, then such persons of constancies are valued in our culture. That is called integrity or honesty. They are here called honesty, integrity. Buba.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I'm concluding the session. Today we discussed the values of social work.
Thank
Okay.
you. But sir, I want some questions.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, I want some question regarding social justice, but at that time my network is not stable.
Okay.
That's why I will not ask or say anything about it. But let's leave it for tomorrow.
Yeah. No. Okay. I will discuss with you tomorrow. Okay. Wish.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye. On your videos.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Again,
today's session.
Bralij, Zeka.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sagir. Buba.
Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Namaste. Wow. Ishaq. Bye bye.
Hey, bye bye. Namaste, sir.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
abin da za mu yi
Tunga.
Thank you so much. In fact, in Malawi, we are having some problem.
kun ji da ogoro mako ni ya alƙalai ba ba sai ko ne har yanzu ba ji bane sai aka babba nan 5,000 nan 5,000 wallahi ba ban naira ba har yanzu ba a tura min ba an karba account number na yawa namaste bye bye ne to kin Najeriya ya dawo.
Bye guys.
Candiero, can you inbox me please on WhatsApp?
Malam Shaibu.
Now, Malam Muhammad.
Candiero, can you inbox me on WhatsApp?
Yes,
Okay, no problem, boss. I will.
I can talk English, but not all very well. Daga wannan sentence din ma ya san shi majaki ne ba ni ne kai na ba